Hello, welcome to your hour Pilates. Happy New Year, whenever it is you get to this, might be May, but Happy New Year. Matt, if you want a towel as a prop, if that works for you, I'm just gonna grab my blanket while I mention that myself. If there's anything that comes up in class and you feel like you'd like to move at your own different pace, please feel free to go there. I'm going to offer as many mods as per usual. I'd like to do a little bit of mobility work for us today, working through that thoracic spine, and then of course building heat and tone and stuff as always. So kneeling, if that feels good, you could always be standing if you prefer. Can you inhale to reach those arms up, give yourself a nice big stretch, and then exhale it down. And then again, inhale up, nice big stretch. And exhale it down. One more time, inhale up, nice big stretch. You're gonna lift up, take a side bend over to the right. And then back to center, side bend over to the left. Bring yourself up, let those arms come down, give your shoulders a really nice big roll. We're gonna take our hands, interlacing your fingers behind your head. And I'd like to do a little bit of work here to stabilize your cervical spine, so your head neck area, right? So we don't get computer necky. So if you can place your hands behind your head very, very, very gently. You're gonna take a breath in to just sort of like settle where you are. And then very subtly as you breathe out, can you connect the back of your head into your hands and build a little bit of tension? So I don't want you to like super, super press, just create like a 10% tension. Holding here for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one, gently take a little break, breathe in. As you breathe out, it's so tiny and subtle, and it's like you're trying to press your head. If I were to take my hands away, press your head back, and then you have the hands there to provide resistance. So we're just giving our neck muscles here an opportunity to have a little bit of strength. For 2, for 1, gentle release, 2 more, breathe in. As you breathe out, pressing into the back of the head, lengthening out through the crown of the head. For 4, for 3, for 2, let it go. Last time, breathe in. As you breathe out, gentle press. Yeah, super, super gentle. We're just starting to activate a little bit through the back of the body. And 1, taking those hands behind your head, can you nod your chin down to your chest? No pressure here, yeah, not pressing on our heads. Circle your upper body around to the right. I'll turn to face you again. And then down through center, over to the left. So you're just making a little semicircle here with the upper body, trying to keep those hips as stable as possible. And over, and around, and over. And if you'd like to start making this a little bit bigger, you're going to circle to the left and then lengthen your chest, your sternum up towards the ceiling as you take the circle full 360. Let's go to the same side again, around to the left. And then as you lift that chest up, you can think about finding that backhand head connection. Good. You might start to feel a little bit of oblique warming up here, which is like kind of awesome, yeah, because we're keeping our hips stable, but keeping our hips stable, but moving our torso. Let's go the other way, around to the right. Lengthen up. It's like you're trying to lift your rib cage up and off of your chest, and then down and around. So just giving, again, that thoracic spine. So that's that middle portion of your spine. Giving it the opportunity to just sort of mobilize, especially if you've been sitting a lot today or whenever it is you get to this. Last one. Nice job. Let that head come down. We're going to gently start to roll our spine all the way down onto hands and knees. From hands and knees, can we inhale to lengthen that tail out, draw the chest through the hands. As you breathe out, scoop and round, press the floor away as long as it feels good for you. 2 more. Inhale to lengthen it out, lengthen it out, lengthen it out. Again, we're going for some mobility here. Exhale, scoop, tuck, and round, hollowing through that belly. Toes can be tucked or untucked. 1 more time. Inhale to lengthen. I just realized there's that stripe on my leggings today, so you'll be able to really see those 90-degree angles. And then lengthen it out. Bring your glutes back. Give your shoulders 1 more roll. Nice job here, team. So I would like us to start on our backs, please. We're going to plant our feet on the floor, plant your pelvis nice and neutral. We're gonna get a little bit of mobility going here, and then we'll spice it up with those abs, yeah? So feeling your feet on the floor, taking your breath in through your nose. Exhaling out through your mouth. Collecting that pelvic floor, drawing the rib cage down. Inhaling in through the nose, into the backs and sides of the ribs. Exhaling it out through your mouth. Good. One more time. Inhaling in, trying to find that home base. Maybe your hip bones and pubic bone can arrive on the same plane together. Maybe there's a little bit of movement there, and that's totally fine. And then last breath here. All right, keeping those feet really nice and stable on the floor. We're going to inhale. Can you lift your left toes up? As you breathe out, you're going to slide that left leg away. And as it slides away, can you notice if that pelvis starts to get really heavy down to the left? Take a breath in, breathe out, pull that left leg in. Same side, breathe in. As you breathe out, let's slide that left leg away. Breathe in. As you breathe out, pull the left leg back in. So really for this first two, it doesn't look like much, but you actually have to stabilize a ton through that pelvis to make sure that it doesn't rock and roll, yeah? If this is going super duper well for you, you're gonna roll up to the toes of your right foot now. So left heel is on the floor, right toes are on the floor. If stabilizing is going, again, really super well for you, you can take those arms and reach them up to the ceiling. Good, now that the muscles are turning on, exhale to reach. If this is all going well, and again, you can keep that pelvis completely still. Maybe we lift the right leg up to a tabletop, noticing if your pelvis changes. Inhale it in, just warming up this base of support here. Let's go for 3. Oh, my pelvis loves to dump down to that left side. Let's go for 2. Last one here, like this. Hold that left leg long, hold that right leg table. Maybe take those hands behind your head, maybe keep them up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in, gently nod your chin. As you breathe out, can you curl up as if you wanted to reach towards the right heel? Inhale to lengthen back down. Exhale, nod your chin and curl. Options with those arms, you can always bring your hands behind your head if that feels best for you. And then you could also use those arms to reach. Good. Exhaling. Now, as you work here, we're going to start to make that left leg a little bit lighter, yeah? So not actually lift it off the floor. I don't want you to lift that leg up just yet. I just want you to think about making it really, really light. And I want you to notice as you do that, if your hips start to twist or kind of plop one side or the other. Let's go for 3. Hands behind the head if you need. Let's go for 2. Last one here, and then hold it. Take a breath in. You're still making that left leg really super light. As you breathe out, curl up and over to the right. Inhale to release that tension a little bit through the torso. Exhale up and over to the right. Keep that left leg really light. Don't lift it off the floor yet. Keep checking in with your pelvis. We're here for 3. We're here for 2. Deep stabilizing warm up, yeah? Last one. Lower down, pull those legs in, maybe give yourself a little rock side to side. So intention here, not to irritate the low back too much, but to really start to get deep into the abdomen, yeah? Not just the top layer. Pelvis is coming back to that nice neutral. If you kind of lost it for a second, hip bones, pubic bone, as level as can be. Maybe you need to scoop a little bit. That feels better for you. Totally cool with that. We're going to take a breath in to lift the right toes up this time. And as you breathe out, gently slide the right leg away from you. Now again, notice, right, with the weight of that leg, your hips are probably going to want to move. Pull the right leg in. I thought I could do that right out of the gate with my arms up, and I have been humbled. And then reach it out. If you'd like to, as I'm doing right now, I have my elbows on the floor and my fingertips gently resting on my hip bones, or like approximately where my hip bones would be, yeah, if you're not too sure. And that's just so that I can feel as I slide this leg where my pelvis is going, so I can tell if it moves, yeah? If that's going super duper well for you, you're welcome to start getting nice and light on those left toes, or on the left foot, I should say. So right heel is connected to the floor, left toes connected to the floor. Exhaling to reach. If this is going well, maybe those arms can reach up towards the ceiling. If you're tight in your hip flexors, this is also going to give you a huge indicator, right? As to like, as you reach that leg, if your pelvis collapses. So know that that's a huge portion of this as well. If this is going well and you would like to up the ante, you can always lift that left leg to a table or variation of table. Ooh, right hip flexor, feeling nice and tight here. Let's go for 3. This is why I love mobility stabilizing work. Let's go for 2 because its impact on the body is just like so fascinating. Last one. So right leg is going to stay as long as you can keep your pelvis stable. Yeah. So on this side, you'll notice I have a little bit of a bend to my knee. You're going to take your breath in to gently soften your chin. Maybe bring your hands behind your head. As you breathe out, nodding and curling up and reaching towards that top heel. Inhaling to lower down, keeping that bottom leg active. Exhale, nod your chin and curl. And then a great little moment here, right? To check in on the pelvis. Holy moly, this side is so much harder for me. Exhale to curl. Inhale back. Hands can always come behind your head. So I'm keeping my left elbow down because I cannot support my pelvis. We learn. Yeah, this is the joy of doing it together. Now that right leg isn't going to lift off the floor. It's just going to get really, really light. And I want you to please notice as you make that leg a little bit lighter, how there's so much more demanded of your center. Let's 2 more here, please, team, for 2. One more time and then hold. Check in with everything, yeah? Is your pelvis level, that right leg, maybe it's not lifted, yeah? It's just nice and light. Inhale to take a hot second at center. As you breathe out, curl the torso up and over to the left, keeping everything stable. Inhale down, exhale up and over. Doesn't look like much, but all of that nuancing, right, of making the right leg light-ish on the floor, of keeping the pelvis super balanced. Exhale up and around, of not letting that lower body move as we bring ourselves into that rotation of the upper. Let's go for 3. Let's go for 2. Last one. Hold. Come all the way in. Bring those knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice rock side to side. All right, we're gonna lengthen those legs out. They're gonna open mat-ish distance apart. If you're not using a mat, go a little bit wider than your hips, yeah? We're gonna bring those hands behind our head. We're gonna let our head be heavy in our hands, lifting your elbows ever so slightly, or maybe a ton, yeah? So that your neck feels nice and supported. Glue those heels to the floor, take your breath in. As you breathe out, nod your chin, curl up and look over that pelvis. Inhale back, exhale up. So not so bad now that we have a nice wide base to support our pelvis, yeah? Exhaling it up. Let's go for 4 here, please. Good, let's go for 3. Woo, 4, 2. Last one, we lift, we hold, we pause. From here, can you reach your right arm? Inhale to lower your head. As you breathe out, you're gonna take your right arm and reach up and over towards those left toes. Inhale to come through center, switch your arms. As you breathe out, curl left arm up and over towards right toes. Inhale back, exhale up and curl. Inhale down, exhale up and curl. Now we're going to grow this, okay? So we're going to keep moving for as long as we can. And we'll pause in whatever version feels the best for you, yeah? So as you're moving here, maybe it feels super, super great to stay. Maybe you wanna walk those legs a little closer. Good, exhaling to reach. Maybe as you're curling up and reaching towards your toe, you're gonna lift that leg up. Now, not super big deal, right? We're like, okay, let's lift those legs. But remember, we just spent so much time working on keeping that pelvis stable. So my right leg, I can totally lift, but my left leg, I need help. So I'm gonna pop that elbow down, curling it up. That pelvis is not allowed to move. Exhaling, you've got it, let's go. Woo, 4 more each side for 4. And 4, now we would totally be cheating. 3, to move those legs and let your pelvis be wobbling around, yeah? For 2, the whole point is to challenge that stability. Last one. Exhaling it up. And lower down. Nice job, team. Let's bring those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side, and then maybe take those legs over to the left. Let's go for a little twist here. Reaching that right arm up overhead, taking a nice big breath in, and exhaling it out. And then through center, over to the right, left arm arrives up overhead. Breathing in and out. And then when you're ready, we will collect the back of the thigh and bring ourselves all the way up. Let's turn over onto our left side. And we're going to squeeze those legs together. Hips gonna reach nice and long through the torso, reaching that tailbone out behind you, zipping into that rib cage. I'm like, oh, feel my abs working for me here, yeah? We're gonna take that top leg, please, and we're gonna lift it up so that it's hovering at about hip height. Now, at any time, again, you can take breaks because holding our leg up against gravity, huge amount of work. Little circles here, please. We're going for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, 4, reach out through that tail, 3, long through the waist, for 2, last 1, let's take it the other way, for 8, sort of warming up, 7, now this is a slower, better, 6 versus kind of bigger, 5 for the purposes today, 4, focusing on that control, 3, and that stability, 2, last 1. Now this leg is gonna hover nice and parallel like this. We're gonna lift it up. We're going to internally rotate it and head the knees as if they could tap together. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. We're gonna lift up, externally rotate, and then tap your heels or toes behind you together. Lift up, internally rotate, knees towards each other. Lift up, externally rotate, toes or heels towards each other. So this is our little patterning, yeah? Now again, slow and steady in both directions. Because what I would love for you to start to feel is right in the middle of that bum cheek, lots of fanning of the musculature happening, yeah? As we're working through internal parallel external, and then external parallel internal. Nice and fun, yeah? Spicy goodness. Up and around. Now I would like us to stay down on our arm today if that feels like a reasonable option. Bringing it up is going to add obliques for sure. It's going to change the angle of the work for sure. And I want us to just stay like super, super, super focused on the glute for now. Don't worry, side work is coming. Good. Open it out. Rotate it in and down. Let's go for 2. It's only going to get spicier from here. Last one, external, internal. All right, we're gonna open back up to that external and then pause. We're gonna gently lower the top leg, but keep tension if you can. Readjust, yeah? So make sure that that top hip is really reaching long, that rib cage is really drawn in. From here, we're going to externally rotate, toes or heels can connect, that's fine. Now your top thigh is open on a diagonal. Can you extend your bottom thigh to meet that diagonal? So you're on a little bit of a forward pike. You're going to internally rotate that leg, but keep it on that trajectory. Then you're going to externally rotate that leg. Keep your thigh where it is, bend your knee, pull the bottom half of the leg back in, maybe toes touch, and then gently lower down, but try not to relieve the tension. Open it up. Keep the thigh externally rotated, extend it out. Keep it where it is, internally rotate. Externally rotate. Bend your knee, pull the leg in. Gently lower it down. Yeah, spicy stuff, I'm hoping. Open that thigh. Extend the leg out. Internally rotate it. Externally rotate it. Bend your knee, pull, toes, heels in. Lower down. 2 more. Open it up. Reach the leg out. Internally rotate. Externally rotate. Bend your knee, pull the toes, heels in. Lower down. Last one. Open. Are you spicy? I'm feeling spicy. We're going to open the leg. We're going to internally rotate and then flex your toes. So I want you to be really like conscious, feeling spicy. Yeah, as you internally rotate that, if you go too much, your hips are going to roll forward. So keep them stacked, but then really try to like corkscrew the leg internally. You're going to take that leg forward as if it's reaching up in front of you, and then take it just to the pike. So don't take it back behind you. You're going to take it forward and up. Maybe there's a bit of a hamstring stretch there for you. Oh, that is spicy tamales, hot potatoes. Bring it forward. Take it back. We're going for 3. My leg is shaking. Is your leg shaking? Holy smokes. Let's go for 2. Bringing it back. You can always lower the leg if you need to. Yeah. Last one. You're going to hold it in front. Internally rotated long hips. Pulse it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. It's a heavy leg. 3. You can do it for 2. Last one. Pull it in. Oh, that was spicy. I was practicing that for us last night, and definitely extra spicy the next day. Okay, if it feels reasonable, now we're gonna lift up towards a side plank, but I'd like us to just give a second to warm up through that left shoulder. So if we can be up and supporting ourselves here, I have my left elbow just underneath / a little forward of my left shoulder. We're going to hang out and collapse into that arm as if we were like totally hanging out on the beach, which I know none of us are doing right now. And then you're going to press and slide that shoulder onto your back, opening up the front of the chest. Inhaling to let yourself collapse. Exhale to press. That top hand can come to your bottom rib cage. So as you press away, you're lifting up. Inhaling it down. Now your gaze can be forward. I like to look down. It just feels way nicer in the neck for me personally. Let's go for 2. Exhale to press and lift. Last one. You're going to press and lift and pause. Now, if this feels like the most fabulous place to be, working on that shoulder, working on that neck is already feeling great, stay here. If you would like to lift up and find a version of side plank here that works for you, feel free. Now, if it feels reasonable, we're going to take that top leg again. We're going to lengthen it out so that it's parallel. If it feels reasonable, start to lower the bottom hip as if you were going to take a beach vacation, and then change your mind and lift back up. Lower down, little tap. Exhale, press to lift. Good. So that press to lift is coming from underneath the armpit, the rib cage, and the bottom hip. Press down. You have your obliques supporting you here. Let's go for 2. Exhaling to lift. Last time. Exhale, lift, pause wherever you are. Let's maybe pulse that leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Nice job. If you'd like to kind of bring yourself up and over into a little side bend, you can. And then all the way up, give those shoulders a little zhuzh, maybe give that neck a little zhuzh, maybe grab some water, and then we'll go to the other side. And do all of that fun business again, yeah? So if you wanted to place a blanket or a pillow with your head, that is of course a totally a great option. Trying to avoid being up on the forearm if we can here, but you're always welcome to kind of like pat it up a little bit here if that feels good. Okay, we're bending through our knees. We're lengthening through our torso. We're going to take that top leg and lift it up to hold hip height, yeah? And then we pause. So we want to try to avoid getting really squishy here today. We want to think nice and long, bending through that knee, opening out through that tail, collecting that rib cage in. We're going to take that leg and do little circles from that knee for 8, doesn't matter which way, 7, 6, sticking out through that tail, 5. For 4, you're always welcome to give a little bit of poking feedback if you feel comfortable. 2, 1, let's go the other way. 8. Oh, this is going to be spicy on this side. 7, I can already tell. 6, 5, lengthen out through that tailbone. 4, keep that rib cage collected. 3, for 2, Last one. We're going to take that leg, we're going to lift it up a little bit. We're going to internally rotate it so that our knees can tap towards each other. We're going to fire the power of our glutes, lift up, externally rotate, toes or heels can tap together. Lift up, internally rotate and tap down. Lift up, externally rotate and tap out. Good. So there's so much capacity in our pelvis, right? Like our pelvis is what's connecting our upper body and our lower body together. So there's a lot happening here. Yeah. There's a lot happening through the front of your body with your abdomen, your organs. There's a lot happening through the back of your body with all of the muscles and ligaments and tissues that support your spine. And then you have your pelvis as well. So if we can incorporate lots of movement and stability here, yeah, like not always just working external, but finding that internal rotation as well, and then finding the stability as we fan through all of the movements. It's got huge, amazing benefits. I mean, that's a pretty global thing to say, but for the most part, yeah, it's going to give us a lot of really great feedback for the body. Is your glutes, are your glutes on fire? My glutes are on fire. Whew. Let's go for 2 and 2. I like to give the why, right? Because otherwise it's like, well, why would we do this to ourselves? Why would we make it so inefficient and it's so burny? All right, toes or heels can tap. It's up to you. Gently lower that thigh down and just give yourself a little check-in, yeah? Making sure the ears, the shoulders, the hips are all in one line, that we're lengthening out, we're not collapsing and squishing into the floor, and that we're thinking about opening that tail behind us. Okay, you're gonna open that top thigh up. Keep it externally rotated, extend the leg out. Keep it on that trajectory, internally rotate it. Feel like you're sticking your bum out a little bit more. And then externally rotate it. Bend your knees, squeeze your legs back in, see if you can find some hamstrings. Gently lower that leg down. Again, let's externally rotate it up. Extend the leg out. Internally rotate it. Externally rotate it. Bend your knees, squeeze, pull toes back in. Gently close. Open it up. Extend. So you're just going whatever alignment that quad is giving you. Internally rotate it. Externally rotate, squeeze and pull. I'm hoping it's getting spicy. Yeah, it's definitely getting spicy for me too. Extend it out. Internally rotate. Externally rotate. Bend your knees, squeeze and pull toes back in. Lower with control, yeah, avoiding the temptation to just sort of take a break and let that leg collapse down. Although, of course, it's your practice. So if you feel like you really want to take a break, take a break. Definitely a great option. Feel it open. Extend. My leg is shaking. Are you shaking? Internally rotate. Externally rotate. Bend your knees, squeeze, pull the leg in. Let's do one more, yeah? Although we know it's going to get fiery before it gets not fiery. Extend that leg out, pause. You're going to internally rotate. Fire, fire. Internally rotate and flex through that foot, sticking that glute out. We're going to take that leg forward in space, but keep it internally rotated. And then you're going to take it back, but just to the pike, yeah? It's not going all the way back behind us. It's staying in the front the whole time. Holy moly. Forward. And then back. Good, you got it. Forward. Oh my goodness, my leg is on fire. And then back. Let's go for 3. This might be my new favorite, like love-hate favorite. 2. And back. Oh my gosh, one more time. Hold it forward if you can. Maybe hold it there. Maybe little pulses. 8. Sorry, I lied. Now it's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're all going to feel that tomorrow, and I'm sure. Let's come all the way up. Although if you made it through that and you were like, no, that didn't feel too bad at all, definitely send me an email. I want to know about that. Okay, let's come on to that right forearm. We're going to work that shoulder stability. Yeah, and then we'll go into that planking and finish off the leg. So starting out by pressing through that full arm, let your shoulder just sort of hang out, beach vacation, if eventually we can have one. And then as you breathe out, press. And as you press, we want to bring and slide that shoulder blade down our backs. Inhaling to release, to kind of hang out. And then exhale. There's this active recruitment, yeah, of your back body. If you'd like to take that top hand around to the rib cage, inhaling to draw it down. And then as you exhale, collect that rib cage up with you. So we don't ever want to be hanging out anywhere. We want there to be active recruitment all the way through. Last one, and as you press that floor away, we're also thinking about hugging the forearm in and down, yeah? Your legs can be wherever you need to be. Now, if this already feels, and it probably will, yeah, like I'm in my best side plank, please stay here. If you're feeling like you'd like to lift those hips up, that's where you're gonna go as well. I'm gonna shimmy forward just a little bit. That's where you're gonna go here as well. If it's an option to lengthen that top leg out parallel hip height, maybe you add that in. Maybe you keep it down, right? There's so many options. Gaze can be wherever you need. For me personally, looking down feels the bestest. Now, if you'd like to move those hips, we lower with control. Notice that that leg is kind of staying as it is. And then exhale, lift it up. Lower down. Press and lift and squeeze. So that bottom arm is working so super duper hard to offer you the support that your body needs, yeah? That waist, the obliques are working to lift you up. That bottom glute and hip also working for you. That top hip, if you have your leg reaching nice and long, stabilizing like cray cray. Let's go for 2. Exhaling it up. Last time. Exhale, lift. If you're lifting, you can always be down. We pulse that bottom leg up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, team. Whew, let's bring it up. I was going to come to our backs, but let's bring it up. If you would like to take a figure 4 on your back, you're welcome to. If you'd like to fold up a towel or a blanket, or you have a cushion or even a chair to sit on, and you'd like to sort of slide that under your glutes, let's cross the right leg in front of the left and just take a little forward fold. And also you could be on your, pretend there's no blanket there, you could be on your back, right? And getting into it this way. Fabulous option. Whatever's gonna feel the bestest for you. Reaching it down. Nice big inhale here. Exhaling it out. Walk those hands to your upper left corner of your space and feel like you're zipping that right hip back. If you're on your back, you're gonna take yourself into a supine twist. So you're just gonna allow the legs to fall over, yeah? One more breath wherever you are. And then gently come back through center, whatever that may mean for you. Come all the way up, and then we will switch sides. So left leg is going to be in front. When you're ready, walk those arms forward, and or you could be on your back if that feels like a better option, maybe with a blanket underneath your head or a pillow. Breathing it in and out here. And then when you're ready, if you're belly forward, walking your hands over to the right. If you're belly up, if you're lying on your back, take those legs over in a twist. Breathing in here. And out. Nothing like a little bit of spicy glute work, right? To get us through a Wednesday. Through center and then come all the way up. Give those shoulders a nice roll. All right, we're gonna work a little bit of upper body mobility again, some shoulder scapula stuff, so that it'll be nice and mobile for us when we go to move. So if we could please step your left foot, oh, there's my knee, left foot forward, and you can always put blankets under your body, yeah, as you're here. We're gonna take our hands behind our head again. We're gonna fire through that right bum cheek and square off our hips as much as we can, yeah? So nice and active through here. Hands behind your head, we're gonna lift up. And then we're gonna start to spiral around to the right. And again, you're trying to keep your hips nice and stable. So it's truly just that upper body. And then like you're spinning on an axis, can you go around to the left? Spiral around to the right. Spiral around to the left. And I just want you to feel as you're firing through that right bum cheek, the stability, and then maybe a bit of a stretch that you get through the left side of the spine, through the right side of the spine, through the right hip flexor. Last time, you're gonna go to the left and then pause. Lean the head back into your hands and lift your chest up a little bit if you can here. And then bring it forward and around. We're gonna reach that right arm forward. So if I was looking at you, we might be opposites. It's so weird. Like some cameras, some computer programs flip me and sometimes they don't. So I'm not sure. So my left leg is forward, my right arm is forward. I'm gonna turn that right arm into a fist, or right hand into a fist, and I'm gonna squeeze my arm muscles. And then I'm gonna forget about my arm, I'm gonna think about my shoulder blade. I'm gonna turn sideways again so you can see me. So from that shoulder blade, can you super reach that arm forward, keep squeezing the right bum cheek, and then squeeze the right shoulder blade back. Reach that right arm forward, 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 squeeze, 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 and then squeeze the right shoulder blade back. 2 more times. Inhale to reach it forward. Exhale, squeeze it back. 1 more time, forward. And so notice that I'm really trying to isolate the movement to my scapula and then pause. Now, as if there was someone underneath my scapula, I'm gonna try to like elevator lift it up, 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 and then squeeze it down, 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 down. You know, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, and then squeeze it down, squeeze it down, squeeze it down. 2 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale it down. 1 more time. Inhale, lift it up. Trying to really draw it up off of the rib cage. Exhale down. Check in. Your arm is still in your hand is still in a fist. Your arm is still engaged. We're gonna add those all together. So you're gonna reach that arm forward. You're gonna elevator lift it up towards the ears. You're gonna circle it so it's in that back retraction and then all the way down to the floor. I mean, it's not gonna go down to the floor, but it's gonna scoop down. Take that arm forward. Elevator lift it up towards your earlobes. Squeeze and circle it back. Down your back. 2 more. Inhale to reach it. We're trying to pull. We're trying to find the mobility here in the tissues. And there's a difference between mobility and flexibility, right? I'm sure we've talked about it. Lift it up. And then dissolve that with the arm. Flexibility being passive range, mobility being active range. So I want us to find nice active spaces. Okay, let's go the other way. So your right foot is going to come forward this time. It might as well stay the same way. This stripe is, it's really making me giggle as we're here. Okay, hands are gonna come behind your head. Now notice that my toes are untucked. It changes the recruitment of your piriformis, if that's of any interest to you, which is a very fascinating muscle, but it often causes a bit of soreness in the hips. So that's why I've chosen to offer you that today too. All right, we're gonna lift up, lift up, lift up. When you're ready, staying on your axis, you're gonna spiral around to the left. And then staying on your axis, you're gonna spiral around to the right. So we're still keeping that left glute engaged. And as we lift up, it's like we're spinning top. And so as you're finding this range, right? And it could be different side to side. Ooh, really good work there, team. We're doing it actively. Let's go for 3, because we're lifting up, we're lengthening. There's obliques here to support you. You probably won't, or maybe you will feel them. I don't want to assume. You might not feel them super fiery for 2, but they're working along with your back muscles. Last one. Oh, it feels good when you can get that little bit more, right? You're gonna find your rotation somewhere you can pause with your hands behind your head, staying in this twist. Can you lift your chest up and back? Little bit of a chest opening moment. And then dissolve the shape, bring it down. I'm just gonna turn around so you can see my left arm work here now. So right foot forward, left arm forward, into that fist, active through the arm muscles. And now I'm like quite a good example of someone who likes to be really trappy. So I have to work really hard on thinking soft and wide across the top of the shoulders. You're gonna take that arm, you're gonna reach it forward in space towards the door, and then squeeze and draw it back. Take it and reach it forward, and squeeze and draw it back. Inhaling. Good. A nice yawn there, yeah, to free the diaphragm. And squeeze. And so as I'm moving here, I'm trying not to feel too much tension up towards my earlobes. Again, we're sort of liberating the shoulder girdle here. if it's been like tight, you know what I mean? Did you like that? That pose there for like working on the computer? One more time. From center, as if there's someone underneath your scapula, you're gonna lift that shoulder blade up towards your ear and then squeeze it down. You're gonna lift it up and soften it down. Inhale to lift. So again, we're finding the musculature, and if it's kind of crunchy or crackly, a little bit of feedback there for you on maybe some knots that are going on. Last time, lift. And then lower. Let's take it into that circle. So finding center here. Active arm, active fist. You're going to take that arm forward, that shoulder blade forward. From the bottom, we're going to lift it up towards your earlobes. We're going to circle it back and then down towards the floor. So we're trying to sort of like knead the muscles here, like you would knead soil for the flowers to grow, the flowers being your strength and mobility. If I was into creating little visuals, which I am, forward, up, around, and back. Last one here. Just again, kneading that dough of your musculature. And down. Nice job. Let's give the shoulders a little circle, maybe the head a little circle. We're going to come all the way down. So on to your bellies, please, if that's an option for you. If not, you could always be hands and knees. That's great as well. We're going to take our hands, we're going to plant them down. We're going to plant our elbows down. We're going to take our legs maybe a little bit wider than hip distance. We're going to externally rotate them so they're looking away from us. And then we're going to melt our heads to the floor. Now I'm going to keep my head up a little bit so that you can kind of like hear what's going on. And then we're going to move. We're going to make it nice and active. So zipping up through those thighs, through those legs, scooping your belly towards your pubic bone. And if that's not possible, grab a blanket and pop it under just your hip bones, yeah? So you're scooping towards that pubic bone. We're going to think about pressing our hands into the floor and then sliding the shoulder blades towards the middle of our spine. So I don't want you to super depress them. I don't want you to squeeze them up to your earlobes. They're sliding in towards each other. From that activity, can you lift your head to hover a little bit? We're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, can you lift up and try not to press your ribs down. Think about lengthening out and up, yeah? Take a breath in to be there. And then exhale to lower down to just a hover. So at this hover, I want to make sure your head doesn't drop to the floor. Yeah, it's staying active. Shoulder blades are on your back, legs are active. Press into the hands, the forearms, the elbow. As you breathe out, you're going to lengthen out and up. Now, only going as high as you can keep your pubic bone connected down. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, lower just to a hover. Breathe in. As you breathe out. So it's like we're doing a little kind of teeter-totter or seesaw. Lower down with our torso, but just without the leg part, yeah? When you're ready, lengthen it out and up. Noticing if you're feeling crunchy in your low back. Notice if your hips have pressed down, if your shoulders are up. Yeah, maybe keep it a little bit lower in its range. One more time. Lengthen it up. And then you're going to lower about halfway. So you're not all the way down to the floor. You're not up in your highest. You're about halfway. Can you please take those arms and lift them to pause and hover off of the floor? So you're thinking long from head to tail. We're thinking scooping to our pubic bone. We're trying not to press our ribs in. We're trying to collect them, zipping up through the legs, the thighs, the glutes. Those arms are hovered. Breathe in. As you breathe out, can you hug them a little closer as if your elbows would want to touch behind you? Inhale to bring them just to that parallel float. As you breathe out, squeeze. So we're not going to take them forward over the head just yet. Squeeze. And as you do this, notice if your head pokes forward and down, can you think about lengthening out longer? Let's go for 2. I'm hoping you're getting into your mid back and a touch of low back here. Last one. Take those arms lower down. Take a little pause. If you'd like to press yourself back into a shell stretch, knees can be wide, knees can be narrow. Feel free to go there. Nice breath in here. And breath out. Taking it all the way forward again. So I kind of left you hanging there with an option. My apologies. So as you're moving, if being on your belly doesn't feel good, you can come onto hands and knees. You can also do all the arm work from upright. Yeah, this is like totally a good place to be as well. So know that that's there for you too. Whew, mid back, it's happening, yeah. Okay, we're gonna plant our hands down now. So they're right underneath our foreheads. Down we go. You're gonna take those legs, and if they felt really good, externally rotated hip distance, feel free to stay there. If you're open to a bit of a challenge with that pelvis, you're gonna bring your legs more parallel and connect the toes down. And your sort of like telling for this will be if you immediately collapse into your hip bones, let's go back to the external rotation, yeah? And sometimes it's just anatomy and there's nothing we can do about it. Okay, interlace your fingers, please, underneath your forehead. Give them a little bit of a tug. Notice if your shoulders hug up to your earlobes. Can we bring them, draw them into the mid-back? Pressing your toenails down, zipping through the thighs, firing glutes to your pubic bone. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to lengthen your torso up. Now, maybe your hands stay down, or maybe they come with you, so you're back in that hover. You're going to inhale to lower down just to hover, and then exhale to lift out and up just a little bit. So your range might be a little bit smaller here. We've done this little hover before, right? We did it when our arms were beside us. Exhaling. Now we've just changed the load. So if you don't love being on your belly like this, you can 100% work in more of a kneeling place. Yeah, you're still gonna get the deflection, bit of a lift. Let's go for 3. Let's go for 2. All right, last one. It's gonna get funky, okay? We're gonna lift up and hold it. Your left arm is going to reach forward in space. Got too many plant friends with me here. Now, maybe that left arm stays forward, maybe it plants on the floor, okay? It's like truly whatever feels reasonable to you. You're gonna take a breath in now without disrupting your hips. As you breathe out, can you rotate, spiral to the right? Inhale to lower down. Oh, so much mid back there. As you breathe out, spiral open around to the right. Inhale to center, spiral to the right. Now maybe your left hand is on the floor. It's giving you a bit of support. We've done this, keep going already, right? Like when we were working our abs and we had to keep the pelvis stable. It's the same thing here, kind of, right? Like the same principle in that we're keeping the pelvis level, but just opening through that mid back. Let's go for 2. Last one, exhaling to twist. Lower down, pull your hand in, take a break. Again, pressing back. Shell stretch if you'd like it. If you were doing the standing version of that, it would look something like this, which is essentially what we did when we were kneeling. Yeah, so my hope for us today is to strengthen and open through that mid back, get some mobility going in that spine. I'm gonna flip sides for our second side. When you're ready, coming all the way back down. Legs again are user's choice, so you can open wide, you can bring yourself in, toes are gonna be maybe down, maybe a blanket at your hip bones if they just don't seem to be able to scoop, right? Great option there. Interlacing your fingers underneath your forehead again, giving your fingers that little tug, shoulder blades on your back, taking your breath in, turning on all your housekeeping, and then as you breathe out, lengthening out and up. So again, hands can stay down here, lots of options as you move. Inhaling to be here, then as you breathe out, your left fingertips will stay connected to your forehead. Your right arm will come forward, and then it's up to you if that arm stays up or if that arm plants down. Can we grow longer? Can we check in with the glutes, with the legs, with that scoop to the pubic bone? Taking your breath in, and as you breathe out, rotate around to the left, and it doesn't have to be big. Yeah, in fact, it probably won't be. Inhaling around. Wow, so much more limitation on this side for me. Exhale to rotate. And that sensation, that experience of rotating, if we can channel it underneath the armpit, yeah, like lower down versus really high up in the neck and the shoulders, right? So we're trying to rotate somewhere that maybe doesn't want to move. That's why it might not be super big. We're adding to the experience, keep moving, of when we were kneeling. Yeah, when we were working from up here, this was a little more like, I guess it's still thoracic, but it was a little lower thoracic into your lumbar. Now we're like really isolating where that upper spine mobility can go. Rotate. You got it here, team. Let's go for 3. And change your height too, right? Maybe if you're too high, you can't get that range. Last one. Rotate to center, pull your arms in, lower down. Super, super, super good work here. Pressing it back. And then gently rolling all the way up. We're gonna keep going. Last little bit of business here. I'd like to keep building on what we've created with the openness of the chest. So we're gonna sit as upright as you possibly can. Feet are gonna be planted on the floor. We're gonna reach that left arm up, take it all the way back and behind. Now your fingertips can come to point behind you, upper diagonal, sideways, but definitely not down, yeah? And then right arm is gonna come around. If this already feels like a lot, you're also welcome to come up to a ledge. So like, a staple chair or a countertop or a couch. Yeah, those all work totally great. We're going to inhale to bend through the elbows and then stretch. Actually, I lied. I guess you can't have your hands back behind you. That doesn't make any sense. Your fingertips can face down to your hips or out, but not up. Whew. All that mid-back work there got me a little confused. Good. Makes sense though, right? If your hands are behind you, you can't bend. So fingertips are facing down to your hips, out to the side, or not up behind you. I'm sure you know where we're going. You don't even need me, I'm sure. Little press. Now, as you're pressing, there's a temptation to maybe hollow. And depending on what's happening in your body, this might already be massive. That's why I say if you lift this up, if you lift your arms up, you might end up getting a bit more range. Yeah. So again, a countertop will work. If you prefer to just flip over onto hands and knees and work some push-ups that way, fabulous option as well. Bending and pressing. We're going for 5. We're going for 4. Press and squeeze for 3, for 2, last one, press and then pause. Can you super squeeze through your arms? Can you fire up? Maybe lift those hips up for a reverse plank. Maybe you have no interest. You'd like to take a break or a regular plank. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, press, 3, don't collapse into those shoulders. Last one, bend at the hips, bring yourself all the way down. Good work, team. If you'd again like to take a little forward fold here, you super can. Breathing in and out. Allowing yourself to come all the way up. So I would love, if you feel comfortable, to come all the way up onto our knees and extend that right leg out. So toes are going to point forward, firing through your glutes, tall through that spine. Right hand is going to come to right thigh. We're going to inhale to reach that left arm up. Take a side bend over. Now, if there's a separate version of a side bend you would like to take, please feel free to go there. We're going to start to circle this down in space. And then you're going to reach the right arm up overhead. So you're in your side bend to the opposite side. We won't stay there too long. Circle down through center. Really press into those right toes. Back into your right side bend. Might be a little crunchy through the hips here. Just getting that mobility going. Around. To the right. And then from here, press your right hand into your thigh. Zip up through that thigh. And if you need to bend a little bit, you can always bend, right? That could be massive stretch through your hamstring here. And you're just going to rotate your chest up towards the ceiling. One more breath in. As you breathe out, circle it down. Roll yourself up here. Pull the right leg in. Blanket underneath the knees is a super great option. And then your left leg is going to go out. So we got a bit of a stretch there through that leg. lengthening it out, firing through that glutes, through the glutes. Left hand comes down, right arm comes up, up and over. Breathing it in here, breathing it out, getting that diaphragm moving, circling in on yourself, and then taking that sweep the other way. Without staying too long, keep pressing into that left foot, circle it around, and up. So much amazing work today. Through strengthening, through mobilizing, we worked through the abs, through the glutes, through the back chain of the body, finding some space in rotation, finding some space in side bending. When you're ready here, press the left hand into the thigh. Maybe you have a bit of a bend. That's totally cool. Lengthen, create openness through the shoulders, and then rotate your chest a little bit. Spiral up towards the ceiling. Breathing in here. Breathing out. Coming all the way up. Pull that leg in. Again, you could be on a pillow or a blanket with those knees. We're going to circle that left arm up, and we're just going to place it behind us, just a little bit, just on the top of the glutes if you can, and then around. Or maybe you'd rather interlace your fingers, that's fine as well. We're going to press down. You're going to squeeze your bum tons. And as if it was an anchor, as your arms reach down, your chest is going to reach up. But as you do this, I want to make sure we don't collapse into that low back, right? So it's really like a kneeling version of what we did before. One more time, breathe in on the floor. Come all the way out. Release those arms, melting into your forward hands and knees, quadruped. Last little bit of business, some cat-cowing here. Inhale to lengthen it out. Exhale, scooping around. Inhaling to lengthen, open. Exhale to press. Last time, inhale it out. Exhale to round. If it feels good, bring the toes together, open the knees wide, send yourself in a nice curly shell stretch. And then in your own time, when you're ready, walking your hands all the way, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale to reach those arms up overhead. Exhale down, give yourself a squeeze. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm hoping you're feeling more space in your body, a bit more spiciness in your body, and I will see you next time.